Hi, and welcome to Sellers and Makers Podcast, a place artisans can come together in community. Brought to you by Everything Embroidery Market. I'm your host, Hope Dale and Christina Schulman. Today, we jump right into our last episode and discuss this season and what is to come. So let's dive in. This season was a lot
Yes. No.
easier, not so much the learning curve. We're
Well,
always
and I
learning.
think that
Right.
just goes to show that sometimes when you jump out of your comfort zone, you're not going to feel uncomfortable forever, right?
Right. No, absolutely. I feel like, especially in the last few, I mean, definitely in the first season, we were getting comfortable. And then we did a bunch of lives after we wrapped the first season and we did our lives. And I think we're just getting a lot more comfortable in this format. And I think it shows. It's like you don't get the nerves before the show, like, or I don't. Before, I felt like I needed like an entire month to get ready before recording one. And now I'm like, oh, it's on in 5 minutes. I gotta go. Like,
Yes.
it's a whole different ball game now, which I like. I like that I don't get nervous.
Right. You're comfortable. It's something that
Yeah.
we've done before. And like I said, it just goes to show that just because you're scared to do something, once you actually do it, it gets easier with time. And um, I almost have, instead of getting nervous, I get excited now
Mhm.
to, I mean, I was excited before, but the nerves sometimes took over. But now I just get excited about chit chatting and just hearing people's stories,
Yeah.
you know. We just chit chatted with Julie with Machine Embroidery Geek, and her story's super fascinating. Um,
Yes.
she's
What just learning about people's backgrounds and what propelled them to
Mhm.
take the leap or, start designing or start embroidering and like just what propels people, what motivates people is such an interesting it's interesting because it's different for everyone.
Right.
And yeah, like Julie's story was awesome. And if you
But
haven't
then it
listened,
was parallel to Lisa Shaw,
Lisa Shaw. Yeah.
I, it was interesting because I feel like both of them, we said it in her podcast,
Mhm.
but I think they're going to walk away. They're going to meet for the first time in Myrtle Beach. They're going to be best friends. Like I can already
Right.
tell. Two peas in
I
a
can
pod.
tell they have very similar or parallel type backgrounds. And I think it's going to be awesome to see them come together. And who knows, maybe we started something big, like friendship. Maybe they do something together. Like
Yes. Yeah.
it's exciting to get to know people on another level on the podcast and really just be able to take away like these people now. And I love that about the first. I loved that in the first season, and then going to the show and then feeling like I had this inside scoop on all of the people that we interviewed and that we had met in person. And it was just like, you already feel like you have this relationship. And I know that a lot of people had listened to the podcast like before going to the show, like, and they felt that they knew a lot of the vendors and instructors and people that we had interviewed that were there, that much better. And it just makes it a personal feeling. And I love, I love that factor.
Yeah.
And I look forward to seeing the people that we interviewed that are going to be at Myrtle Beach. I look forward to seeing them too.
Yeah. And some of the people that were on the podcast aren't going to be there at this show.
Right.
They may be at future shows. But just in general, chit chatting with people, hearing some of their advice, some of their favorite things is really awesome. I feel like in general, like Lisa Potts was saying how important it is to be on social media
Mhm.
and try something new. And we heard that again and again and again. And
Constant.
yes, like very constant. And chit chatting with Chris from Kingdom Designs, just listening to how his business, started in his house and was like in the bathroom, and now they have this big
He
warehouse.
had all of his packing supplies in the bathtub.
Yes. It's fascinating, right?
It is.
And I cannot wait to meet him. And
Mhm.
another thing that we've seen again and again is just passion.
Yes.
Passion. And people doing what they love every single day because they love it and then are able to make a living doing it. They may not be perfect. They may not be doing exactly how they have it in their mind, but they're working towards that, and they're doing it in a way that's meaningful to them. And that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, in order to start a business and then be successful, I think the number one attribute is passion, because that's what's going to motivate you forward and to keep doing it when it's hard or when you're tired, or you know uh, just to keep it going, to deal with customers, the good and the bad.
Yes.
you know I that's They all have passion about what they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, like All Stitched Up by Angela. I mean, we've chatted with her a couple times. Her story's
Mhm.
awesome.
It
Um,
is.
I love how she's retired, and while it's been her passion for a long time, kind of as a tribute to her mama, um, that now that she's retired, I almost feel like she feels rejuvenated again. Just
Mhm.
like now, I can spend all my time on everything that I love, and it's also interesting that there's people that have these nice, big, successful businesses that are also working full-time jobs outside of it, but they find, a purpose because they're able to do both.
Mhm.
So,
And it seems that a, a good chunk of the people we talk to, they started their companies almost like a side hustle.
mhm.
Like, I have a full-time job, but I love doing it. So they started selling something on Etsy, or they just started little. And then all of a sudden these little side hustle passion projects became their full-time gig, and they're living the dream now.
Yes.
And I love hearing these amazing stories, because everybody comes from something else, and like what pushes you forward is different, but they're all just doing it, and it's so inspirational, and it's like, yes, I can do
Yep.
that. They did that. I can do it. Like, if you're on the fence about starting a business, and you haven't listened to all the other podcasts, I'd go back and listen to them, because each person brings a different perspective on why they started and how they started, but they're all like wonderful tips and tricks in every podcast, kind of about how to keep going and doing. And you know, I really feel that it's been really inspiring to listen to everyone's story. And it, it's always good.
Why it's so exciting that we have a place like Everything Embroidery Market, um, to not only meet some of these people that are living their passion, but to encourage other people to live their passion.
Mhm.
Um, Not only so if you don't know what Everything Embroidery Market is, it's a trade show, it's a learning experience, it's a networking experience. Basically, it's 2.5, 3 days of classes and workshops. We have about 50 different classes in a wide range, and we'll talk about some of the classes here in a minute. But classes that you can take to find, um, just lots of information across the board. And then we have a vendor hall that's going to be set up that has shopping. So you can actually, some of the things that you learn in the classes, you can go back to the vendor hall, pick up some new pieces and take that home with you. And then along with that, of course, there's networking, right? So you're going to be surrounded by people from around the country and even some outside the country that are here to learn similar to what you're learning. And so they are excited, and you'll get to learn from them. They'll get to learn from you. And I encourage you, if you're there, you should try to meet these people, exchange phone numbers, become Facebook friends, and then continue that relationship outside of Everything Embroidery Market. Heck, they can be your Everything Embroidery Market bestie, and then you guys meet up twice a year at all the events. And there's people that do that, you know.
There are. I talked to several in the airport when I was leaving.
Mm-hmm. And it's fun. So if you haven't signed up, go ahead and do so at eemshows.com. And you'll be able to see a list of all the instructors, all the classes, all the vendors. We have a wide range. It's all on the website, and check it out. You know, go there, click on their websites, see what questions you might have for them. Bring that list of questions to the show. Look at their website. You know, do they have something that you kind of want to buy, you're curious about, or you have questions about, but you want to talk to them in person first? Bring that question. They want to talk to you. They're excited to talk to you. That's why they're there.
And your questions will give them ideas too. Not only do they maybe they have an answer, maybe they don't, but then it breeds other questions, and then it gives them things. You know, we were talking to Julie about creating content. Sometimes the questions create content for all the instructors or vendors or attendees. Bring your questions. The questions can breed other questions, and then people get content from it, and then then you have like a whole thing of how to do it online after that. So
right. Well, it sometimes people don't know what you want unless you tell them. And so if you have a question, someone else has a question, we want to hear from you, and it just makes it better for everybody. Okay, so let's talk.
Speaking of questions.
Yes.
Vendor panel.
Oh, yes. Okay. I was like, where are you going with this? Oh, man. Okay, so one of the awesome classes that we have is the vendor panel. We've done it 2 times so far. So we did it in Biloxi, we did it in Chattanooga, and back by popular demand, we are doing it again in Myrtle Beach. So if you're not familiar with what the vendor panel is, it is basically we get several vendors lined up at the front of the room, and we just open it up for discussion. Okay, so you guys, as the attendees, can ask the vendor panel pretty much whatever you want related to the industry, and they're going to give you a wide range of answers. So I have a question, I ask the panel, each person on the panel will answer that question. And it's one of my favorite things at this show because I get to hear 5 different answers from people across the industry. So last time, actually, let's see. So we had someone who was specific to business. That was Erin. We had Lisa Shaw, who was specific to the software side. We had someone that was there that was specialized in vinyl. We had someone that was there that specialized in machines. Yes. So sewingmachine.com and the sublimation. So you have people on the panel that are specific to different areas of our industry, and you get to hear them answer the same question. And so each one has a different perspective. each one is valuable, and it's really cool because you can kind of grab the tidbits of knowledge from each one, and you're like, oh, I didn't think of it that way, you know. So I really, 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 really enjoy the vendor panel. And if you're wanting to meet several teachers at once, that's one of your opportunities to, you know, instead of having to take a full class or from each one, which I encourage you to do that anyway, but you can get 5 at once.
Yeah, you get a little tidbit from each. And I like hearing the way that they answer the questions, just their perspectives and coming from different parts of the industry, how they look at a question.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really cool to hear the questions answered from different teachers and different perspectives.
Right. And so for Myrtle Beach, our panelists are going to be Aaron from our success group. So he's really great at answering questions about business, mindset, profitability, all the spreadsheet type things, the back office stuff. Aaron's your guy. I mean, he knows his stuff, and he's kind of like a business coach, and he's going to be your cheerleader. He wants to help you. We have Lisa Shaw with Embrilliance, like we said earlier. She's a wonderful teacher. She knows her digitizing software, Embrilliance, backwards and forwards. Her background is very fascinating. And she's been in this industry. She's created a community. She knows what you guys need to be successful. So she's always a good one to hear from. We have Stephanie from Caesar, which if you don't know what Caesar is, it's a very, very large vinyl company. They have all different types of vinyl, and her role in the company is basically creative director, right? She has
extraordinaire.
Yes, she has a really cool job. She gets to be creative using their product and educating people on their product. And we did a live with her. So again, if you haven't liked our page on Facebook, do it, because you get to see people like her, and her personality is fun and contagious, and she's excited. And we had really great feedback from the classes that she taught in Chattanooga, and then she'll be teaching again in Myrtle Beach. So she's another really great one for the panel. And then we have Richard from sewingmachine.com. Richard is a longtime vendor for Everything Embroidery Market. And guys, he signed up for the vendor panel. All of those people that we just listed and lots more are also teaching other classes.
All right. So vendor panel. You
sign up for it. Yes, sign up for it. But like I said, yes. So all of those instructors on the vendor panel are also teaching some other classes. So maybe let's talk about some of their classes first, and then we'll go into some of the other ones. So Stephanie,
she has Be Creative using Caesar heat transfer vinyl.
Let's see. Well, we need to talk about what each class is, not just the name. When is that?
That one's this Saturday at 1:30, and then she also has Friday at 8 a.m. and 9:45.
Okay, so we have Stephanie teaching Creating with Caesar Vinyl Advanced. In this class, she's going to introduce Caesar Vinyl to you, and then tips and tricks. Yes, to make you feel confident in creating designs. This is an advanced class though, so she's going to be building on the techniques that were taught in the introduction class. So she's actually teaching kind of a 2-step series of classes, I guess, if that makes sense. One is just kind of what is vinyl, how do you cut it, how do you create with it, and then the advanced class is going to be more like, okay, now you know how to do all those things, let's maybe create something a little bit fancier, a little bit more in-depth, a little more I guess get your creative juices flowing a little bit more. And so,
Yeah.
like we said, she's super creative, super fun. You're gonna walk away from that class or those classes being like, oh, I didn't think to do that. So
You're going to learn, but you're going to have a lot of fun. She is fun.
Yeah. Yes, she is. Yes, and so the advanced and the introduction class are both on Friday. And then on Saturday, she is teaching another class. And
Be creative using Caesar heat transfer vinyl.
Yes. And so that class, if it'll let me click on it. No, my computer's frozen. So that class she actually taught in Chattanooga, and it was one that people absolutely enjoyed, because it's like even more than the advanced class that is more specific to just kind of the how to. This class is all about thinking outside the box.
Yeah, and she's combining embroidery with heat transfer vinyl as applique or as mixed media.
Yes.
So
that's
really,
going to be
really neat.
A really good one. Okay, so let's talk about some of Aaron Montgomery's classes. So we talked about him a little bit when we were talking about the vendor panel, but he's a wealth of knowledge. Like I said, we've done a couple lives with him on his podcast and some other places. And he's going to be teaching one class called Pricing for Profit and Confidence. He will in this class, he's going to dig deep into what it takes, how to price a product in order to actually make money, taking into account everything from the cost of your product, your time, what you want to get paid, the cost of, if you have a brick and mortar, the store, everything.
The cost of keeping your lights on.
Right. And incorporating that into the price of your product so that you actually make money, because we are all in this to make money. So another class he's teaching is keys to starting a successful product decorating business. So where to start? How do you be successful? He's been in the industry for 22 years and he's got some nuggets that he's going to share with you. So finding another class he's teaching is finding your customers and standing out in a crowd. I think a lot of people struggle with that, right? They're like, I have this beautiful product. How do I sell it? Who wants to buy it? How do I find those people? So in that class, you're going to be talking about that. Let's see. Lisa Shaw. We talked about her a little bit ago. She's going to be teaching a ton of classes, all pretty much about Embrilliance. She's got a couple hands-on workshops. And if you're listening to this, we may have a few spots left in her workshops. Those are going to sell out very soon if they haven't already. And then also so those are hands-on workshops where you actually bring your computer and learn the digitizing software. And then on Friday and Saturday, she'll be teaching regular 1-hour classes where she goes over all kinds of stuff, motifs and decorative stitches and making Embrilliance work for you. She's got a bunch of classes, and they always sell out.
101.
Yes, they always sell out. So I would, if you're on the fence, sign up now, because you will be sad if you miss out because you waited. Just because I'm on this page, we have one other workshop on Thursday. We've never offered it before, and we're super, super excited about it. So this one's going to be Jackie Bowman's class. She owns Elia Jacksford Designs. So this is something, it's going to be 9 a.m. Thursday morning, before the trade floor show opens. And basically what this class, it's called No Big Hoop, No Problem, how to fill a 10 by 10 craft show booth with a smaller size hoop. Okay. So you will actually you'll actually be able to bring your own embroidery machine to the class. She's going to do a lecture at the beginning, show you some tips and tricks for that. And then in your cost of the class, you're actually going to get some designs to take home with you. You're going to get product that you can use in the class to create some in the hoop projects. So you will be stitching in the hoop projects in the class. So while you don't have to bring a sewing machine or embroidery machine to the class, I highly recommend it if at all possible, because you're going to want to listen to the lecture and walk away with finished made product with Jackie in there teaching you how to do it. Super fun. I'm excited about this one. And like I said, this is the first time we've offered it. I've talked to Jackie in depth about the class, and you're going to want to sign up. So she's also teaching a couple other classes. Let's see, where are we at? So she is teaching maybe
beginner embroidery on Friday.
Yeah, so beginner embroidery. So if you've never done embroidery or you're just getting started with embroidery, this is a class for you. She is very encouraging. She wants you to know that it doesn't have to be scary and difficult. Just basically what stabilizer to use, how to just get started. So if you're new to the game, or maybe you do vinyl and you're thinking about adding embroidery, take this class with Jackie.
Yeah. And then she's also doing an advanced embroidery on
yes,
Saturday.
Yes. So again, Jackie knows her stuff. She does a lot of in the hoop, regular designs. If you want to check out her website now, EliaJacksfordDesigns.com. Check out her website before, and you'll be able to see some of her really cute designs. Okay, so we're going to move fast just because seriously, we have such a wide docket of classes lined out for you. Cassidy Wynn. Cassidy has been with us the last couple shows as well. Her classes tend to sell out also. She is a branding master. Yeah. So, and her designs are super, super cute. Very cute, very easy to stitch. People love them. She's going to be teaching a class on time is money, how to work smarter and not harder. She's also doing a flat lay photography class. If you've seen her designs, you know that her pictures are beautiful, and it's almost like a page stopper, right? Like you're scrolling, you see it, you stop, you want to buy it. And so she's going to teach you kind of how to recreate that. Okay, so we have Julie with Machine Embroidery Geek. If you are wanting to learn more about the computer side, she is your instructor. We did a podcast with her last week, and she's really wonderful. She knows her stuff. She's been in the industry for a long time, but not just the embroidery side. She knows the computer side. So she'll be teaching you how to create SVG files, which is really awesome. How to, I guess, an e-commerce website, which is how to build one of those, and the difference between different platforms, pros and cons. And then she's also going to be teaching computer basics. So like how to unzip files and whatnot. So if you are someone who doesn't feel comfortable using a computer, but you know you need to, she's a professor. So she's a good teacher, and you will walk away being like, oh, I learned some good methods.
If you have anything that you would like her to teach in the computer basics class, if you have any ideas for that, she is open to questions. So if there's something that you feel like is a computer basic that you're struggling with, we want to hear about it, and we will let her know so that she can cover it in her class.
Yes. So we also have screen printing with just a heat press. So Transfer Express is teaching that class. If you don't know what screen print transfers are, this class is for you. It's as easy as getting a transfer, pressing it on a shirt, and selling it. So that's a really cool thing to do. We also have Crafty Construction in the Hoop with Shelly Smola. Okay, she creates these super beautiful, intricate, like houses, like dollhouse type things, all out of embroidery, made by an embroidery machine in the Hoop. They are like mind-blowingly beautiful, and she's going to teach you how to construct in the Hoop. So sign up for that class. Let's see. All Stitched Up by Angela. We did a podcast with her. She's super awesome. We love Angela. One thing we should mention, I guess she mentioned it during her podcast, but if you haven't caught her podcast, she's going to be offering scissor sharpening at Everything Embroidery Market, and we cannot wait.
Bring your scissors.
Bring your scissors, and she can sharpen them, or her husband. I don't know which one it's going to be, but there will be scissor sharpening there, represented by All Stitched Up by Angela. So she's going to be teaching Sewing and Craft Room Essentials, which is a class basically where you learn different products to save time, make your sewing projects easier, things that you need in order to just have fun crafting. So she's teaching that. And then she's teaching Scrap Busters, which is a really cool technique using different pieces of scrap in order to create your own custom fabric and then use that for embroidery. So applique or whatever. So she sent me some pictures of that, and you're going to want to sign up for sure.
Sounds super cool. And she talked about a little bit about that on the podcast too. And it sounds super interesting. Especially because there's always scraps.
Always scraps. She's also teaching a class all about that cork. And basically it's what you can do with cork, how you can make some projects using cork. People are scared to try it, but once you get started, it's actually a really nice.
And it's easy too.
Yeah, nice and easy. We like easy.
Easy to work with, and she said it's really easy to make, even like a gift card holder. Just a few things that are really, they look different, but they're easy, and it's a cool medium to work with.
Yes. So we talked about Richard from sewingmachine.com being on the vendor panel. So some of these classes may be taught by him. Some of them may be taught by other people that are working for his booth. But sewingmachine.com will be teaching a multi-needle tips and tricks. If you have a multi-needle machine, you want to take this class. You're going to learn some maintenance type things, maybe some things that you didn't know a multi-needle could do. That is a really good class to take. Let's see what else is
the CRIO Digital Transfer 101.
Okay, so they're also teaching the cryo digital transfers. It's basically being able to print a transfer onto a paper, press it, and sewingmachine.com sells the machine, the paper, everything that you need to get started. Basically from idea to finished product, all in your home. And so you're going to learn about that in that class. What else?
Already have the 10 are better than one multi-needle versus flatbed. Did you say that? No, wait, that's brother.
No.
Embellish sublimation versus digital transfer. Did you already say that?
No. So sewingmachine.com is teaching a class on sublimation versus digital transfer. What's the difference? When is one better than the other? The pros, the cons. Just it's a really good compare and contrast. Some people love one, some people love the other. They're going to present both to you, and then you'll be able to choose which one's going to work best for your business model. What else? What's the next one?
Kingdom Designs.
Kingdom Designs. So Chris from Kingdom Designs is going to be teaching a class all about sublimation. What is sublimation, start to finish? How do you do it? And then they're also teaching a class about, I guess he's teaching that one twice. And then he's teaching, it's a holiday class. So things that you can make that are sure to sell during the holidays, which is perfect season to do this because everything embroidery markets in September, you know, the holidays are right around the corner. You can take that class and then fill up your shop.
Start using all of the knowledge for that. And he showed us some of the stuff that he was going to show y'all, and I wanted it all. So
yes.
Very good class.
Okay, so we also have Libby Ashcraft. Libby Ashcraft is a seasoned instructor on several different things as far in our industry. She's going to be teaching a few classes with us. Sublimation the Air-Spree way. So those are actually sublimation markers. So you can actually do sublimation without a printer. She's going to teach you all about that in that class. She's going to be teaching Fabric Frenzy.
And Rhinestones Made Easy.
Yes, Rhinestones Made Easy. There's another one. So for Rhinestones Made Easy, if you're ever wondering how you can add a little bling to designs, that's going to be a fun class for you to take because who doesn't like something shiny? Okay.
All about applique.
All about applique. Yes. So that's going to be a good one to teach you just how to applique. What are some of the best practices when it comes to that? And even I believe on that class, she's going to be touching on how to cut your applique pieces using a machine cutter. We also have Brother International is going to be there teaching several classes about Brother machines. So the Brother scan and cut. Also, 10 needles are better than one. You guys, all about Brother. Brother's an awesome brand of machine, and you're not going to want to miss that. We have Kelly Payne, who is a very successful Etsy seller. She also has a YouTube channel. She's got Facebook groups. She knows her stuff and people love her. She's been at the last couple Everything Embroidery Markets teaching. She's teaching turning your hobby into a business / pricing for profit, growing your business on social media. And she's teaching a class on stabilizers, what stabilizers to use when. So that's going to be one that I think will sell out. We're already seeing actually all three of those are already starting to fill up. We have Lisa Potts, who is really awesome. We did a podcast with her as well. Her passion shines through everywhere. And she's going to be teaching Silhouette Studio Basics. So if you want to know what the silhouette is, how to use it to cut, that's a good class for you. She's going to be teaching a class on the Glowforge, which is a home cutting. It's kind of like, what did she say? Kind of like a 3D printer, but it's a laser.
Right.
And so she's teaching, it's laser beams, exploring Glowforge as an addition to a vinyl embroidery business. So that's all about that's all about the Glowforge. And she's teaching a class where you can mix the two and create something extra special. We have Working with Fusible and Applique for Quilting and much more from Hot Fix Adhesives. So if you don't know what Hot Fix Adhesive is, this is going to be a really good class. They're going to show you how to create a better applique, how to quilt using their product, and it's always a favorite as well.
Glitterbug Fairy.
Okay.
She's going to be doing Oh, I Love Vinyl, but what can I do with it?
Yes. So Shanna with Glitterbug Fairy, she's going to be teaching this class. They had a booth in Chattanooga, and my daughter was like, oh my gosh, look at all the fun different types of glitter. She actually spent some of her money in this booth because it's that like eye-catching, right?
Yeah.
So she's going to be teaching you all the different things that you can do with the vinyl, different types of vinyl. So if you have a vinyl cutter, you're thinking about getting a vinyl cutter, you just like to learn about vinyl in general, you'll want to take that class.
She knows her stuff.
Yes. Then we have a class on Corel Draw. Great vectors make great stitching. A class by Corel Trainer, and they're going to be teaching you about what vectors are, how to put it into their software, how to use it for stitching. All of that kind of stuff is going to be in this class, and I would be really interested to take this class because I feel like the design itself that's the focus point, right, of everything that we do. So to be able to know how to put it into a software, manipulate it, whether it's for a embroidery design or for a transfer of any kind of sort, it would be really good to know that back end. So
right.
That would be an awesome class to take. I'm sure we missed a couple, but as you can tell, we have a wide range of classes. I'm excited about it. I can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. But I think we're going to cut it short right there and just say, if you have not signed up, you want to. Go to everythingembroiderymarket.com, register now. Classes will sell out. Sign up for the vendor panel, sign up for those workshops, sign up for some classes. We do get a question every now and then. Can I register at the door? Yes, you can, but you might miss your spot. So if the class is full, then we won't be able to sell it to you right then and there. So thank you guys for listening to season 2. And that's a wrap. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast so that you can catch us when we start after Myrtle Beach on season 3. We want to see you here. We want to chat. If there's anyone or if you want to be interviewed on our podcast, please email us at vendors@eemshows.com. We'll get you signed up. Don't forget to register. We love you guys, and we'll see you in Myrtle Beach.
See you at the beach.